I really wanted to do this video because, yeah, I wanted to address the two biggest things that we should be cautious about when we're trying to do this plant-based milk. Initially, I did it um, because I knew, well, the reaction that my grandson had, of course, with the old milk. And, I knew that his health was already compromised. And so, and with this milk, it's just, I just knew it was something. And I know that was my intuition, because at this time I was awakening to the truth of who I was. At the same time, I was going through this spiritual journey, and so I felt more connected to the truth of myself. And there was something that just kept bubbling up that, that I knew that if I didn't intervene to what I thought was the best for him when it came to his nutrition, that he probably could have not made it or would have been really sick. It would have been, I just felt this. So that's what steered me to the plant-based milk, which I have to credit to Dr. Sebi, because in my own experience with my health, my body, this vessel, trying to get it well, his plant-based diet was just awesome. Now I have veered off of that plant-based diet. I'm vegetarian now, I'm not vegan, because with me, and I guess with the choices that I made, I found that adding eggs to my diet was what's the word I want to use, was sustainable, really. I mean, I didn't feel fatigued, because even with the plant-based diet, I think, and it could have been that I didn't, it could have been my vitamin D was low also. That was the number one thing I have to say with the plant-based diet. When the milk, when it comes with the baby, you really have to be careful about, number one, the weight loss, and number two, the vitamin D. So those are the very things that I wanted to address in this video, because I haven't. I addressed about the weight gain, because when you are doing something like a plant-based video, plant-based milk, and for my reasons, it was more for his health and safety at the time of what he was dealing with. But I would suggest that if your baby isn't like a high risk or is not having issues with the other milk, or number one, I feel like the best milk is breast milk. That is, the body is producing what it needs for the baby. And so you're not going to have issues with the vitamin D deficiency, which is what my grandbaby ended up having. Was he was low in his vitamin D. And so we had to do the drops. But everything else looked good. But it was just the vitamin D, because milk is one of the only things that you can get the amount of vitamin D that it has in it. And it is fortified. And so, but if you know this prior, you can address those. I just think that what I've seen, some people are very late. Well, I won't say that. Well, I'm just saying there's some people that are not as diligent. And, trying to make sure their baby has all the nutrients. And if they're going to normal doctor visits, then they will catch it. And which mine didn't catch it really until later, but that could have been more my fault than theirs. I don't know. It's no one's fault, but it's addressed now and everything's well. But now that I'm looking back energetically, I did notice at a certain time where I felt like something with his energy is not quite right. So I took him to the doctor, but they said he had some kind of, and his hip was hurting. They said it was an infection in the hip. It was a viral thing going around. So I left it at that. He said, don't worry about it. I took him back again. Don't worry about it, because I just felt something, that something was off, but it was the vitamin D. Now that he is taking it, all the energy and seeing how well his bones and everything is growing, because they were cricketing a little bit and I was worried about that, but the doctor assured me that that was due to the viral infection. And so that's one of the biggest things we have to look at. I would say if your baby can take regular milk, do the regular milk. They've, calculated everything. Vitamin wise, it's just easier, especially young parents that are not diligent and making sure that the baby has everything they need, because they're bringing in babies underweight, and you can't do that. You got to make sure all the fat is there, doing the Irish sea moss, adding the oils, and then I would say now that the vitamin D drops too. Biggest things, biggest caution when you're dealing with babies, you just want to make sure they make all their doctor's visits and they're growing on level. And if not, I would suggest, even if you want to do some of the plant-based milk, just add some of the milk to it. If it's not affecting them negatively, I would suggest that, because your baby's health is more important than trying to label, or trying to stay in a plant-based diet. Number one, the plant-based diet ultimately is about maintaining your health, maybe not having all the mucus build up and things of that nature that sometimes the milk can cause, but there's other ways to, you just want to be healthy more so when it comes to the baby. You want to put their, you just want to make sure your baby's not at risk, You want to put their health first, foremost. How am I going to say it? Well, you just want to make sure your baby's health is the most important reason why you're doing anything, regardless of whatever else. Because as they get older, they're not going to be having to drink tons of milk every day, although you want to find other ways. Now, these are other ways you can add on to your baby's vitamin D. Is yogurt, using things like yogurt, and the Greek yogurt is good. That doesn't mess up their stomachs. But you can also do the coconut milk yogurt. They have coconut milk yogurt that's high in vitamin D, and then a lot of nuts, and well, we're already doing the nut milk. There's things of that nature, that could be a great addition to the baby's diet. Puree some fruit, mix it in with the baby yogurt, and give that to them also. But definitely those are the two things. These are the two dangers that I saw when it came with the plant-based milk. I wanted to put that out there because yes, we're giving all these wonderful benefits, but let's address the elephant in the room. Let's not just ignore it all. And initially it wasn't that I wanted to just put my baby on a plant-based diet, although I still think a plant-based diet is, the best diet. Even now, I think for me, and then, but for kids, I do think they do need the meat. My baby, he eats meat. He still eats a lot of vegetables and lentils and whatnot, but I do feed my baby meat. But if you can feed your baby, if you can do a plant-based diet without meat and all of his minerals, when they go there, they say it's iron and his protein is high and nothing's low, I think it's a good thing. Ultimately is making and maintaining mineral levels at the highest level that you can, whatever diet the baby's on, and keeping them healthy, keeping the mucus, because right now with all the viral stuff, you don't need that mucus, that added mucus build up. So if you can do it with a plant-based diet, kudos to you. But if you can't, don't ignore the signs. Do not ignore the signs. Just do what you have to do to make sure your baby's healthy. That's all. You know, that's all. And if that's adding meat, add the meat. Don't be so stuck and stubborn trying to be plant based. And that's where I came to. I'm not going to be stubborn when it comes to my baby. If they say his protein's low and I can't get it done with just lentils and beans, then he's going to eat some meat. Okay? That's just the bottom line. Now, when he gets older and he want to be plant based, I'll let him be plant based. But for now, if I'm not doing the proper job when it comes to, they go in, they say something's low, he's gonna get what he needs in order to get that up, safely, you know. Now, of course, we don't do a lot of chemicals and things of that nature because I've found, the more you do this, the more you learn. And so I put that out there just to show you all basically what I was doing, and it worked for me, but those are the two biggest things that hurdles that I dealt with the vitamins D deficiency and the weight gain, which the weight gain we got over that quick, but the vitamin D is the one thing that kind of slipped there. Everything else, calcium, vitamin C was good. He was not, sugars weren't too high or anything like that. Blood pressure was good. And so, yeah, that's what I want to leave you with. I wanted to address the two biggest concerns when it came to the plant-based diet. And I would have to say my recommendation, if they can just, you don't have a lot of illnesses with the regular milk, I would suggest to stick with that until they get to a certain age and you can make adjustments then, because it's just really easier. Being on that plant-based diet, you really have to be a parent that is on top of on everything. You have to be very proactive, and I can see where it could cause harm if you're not proactive, if you're not seeing the signs, if you're just ignoring it, if you're trying to get on the diet to save money, and then you're not making sure that they have their regular checkups and the weight gain and all of that, it could be dangerous, because you do have to add a lot to that milk in order for it to be just like any other milk. You look on the back of it, they have all kind of vitamins that they've added to it. They have all kind of fats that they've added to, and that plant-based diet is the same thing. Plant-based milk is the same thing. You have to add in order for it to be sustainable. And so if you're not a parent that is willing or have the time to do that, I would suggest just let the doctors figure that out, And then if you see something coming up that's unhealthy when it comes to the doctors, then I would, you can do what you need to do at home to help make sure your baby is whole and healthy and safe. And that's what it's all about, making sure the babies are safe, regardless. But I gave that option because to me it was the only option at the time that I felt good about. And in retrospect, it was a good deal, because the milk that he was on ended up, reason why he was throwing up so much and was sick so much, because they did find that there was some contamination in the milk, added contamination besides the fact that the mucus, and they were since resolved that. So and they've paid a lot of people for that mistake. So anyway, thank you for sharing this moment with me. I hope this helped. I hope this cleared up a lot of things. And yeah, I don't do very many videos on health anymore, because I'm on a new type of health now. More whole when it comes to your wholeness. But yeah, feel free to reach out if you want to in regards to this. Remember that you are beautiful, and I love you. Bye.